I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the benefits of having your own castle. But in this case, it's having your own attorney with a corporation. And when I was a lot younger, 50 years ago, whatever, I started finding out that most castles are actually sitting in some attorney's drawer. They don't really exist in stone. They're just these legal documents that cover your assets. And for years, I kind of knew about asset protection, but if I didn't have any money, I had no asset to cover, you know what I mean? So I would go to these asset protection classes and listen to these guys. I said, well, when I have assets, then I'll buy a corporation. But that is really stupid thinking. And thank God I was lucky enough. So as my wife Kim and I were building our assets one day, and we said, well, you know, someday we'll put a corporation around them. And we're living in Phoenix here. And we had quite a bit of wealth by then. We maybe, weren't making that much, probably $100,000 a year on positive cash flow, probably a couple of $1 million in assets. But we're always going to cover our assets someday. And then one day, a tenant did a really good favor because all of our properties were in our name. Now listen to this. I said it in the last presentation. You don't want anything in your name. You know, my poor dad, oh, my house is in my name. My car is in my name. You're so proud of it. Well, if it's in your name and you hit somebody with it, you get sued. You lose everything. You know, you got to be very careful today. So Kim and I at our house, we now got quite a bit of money, and this tenant comes by because our property was in our name. It was only a small 30-unit apartment house. And this guy knocks on our door, and he says, da, 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 da. And I said, how did you get my address? He says, your name's on it. Your name's on the property. I'm going, oh. And all the stuff that people were telling me for years about don't have anything in your name came. I said, if this guy can find me, he can sue me. So there's two things you want to protect yourself from. Number one are lawsuits, and number two are taxes. Because the two biggest predators in the world are scum who want to sue you for their mistakes, and two is our own government. We're scum also, most of them. But anyway, they're going to tax you. So if you want to pay less taxes and have more asset protection, I think Garrett only charges about $700 for a castle. That's all. And probably a couple $100 a year to maintain the castle. But it gives you the sense of protection. Think of it as insurance. You don't drive your car without insurance. You don't own a house without insurance. Yet most people have their possessions without insurance on it. That's really stupid. At least start with homeowners insurance. You should have that. But when you start to get wealthy, you need different types of insurance. And corporations are that different type of insurance for rich people. So please don't be stupid. Build your own castle for about $1,000 or less. You can have your own castle, protect your assets, but you got to play the game smarter. Because as I said before, in desperate times, and these are desperate times, desperate people do desperate things. So cover your assets.